Hi, I'm Lindsay Del Carlo, the Trial Garden Manager for Renee's Garden Seed in Felton, California. And here I wanted to show you we have growing our Renee's Garden organic cannellini pole beans, Mama's cannellini pole beans. And it's getting time to harvest our first round of pole beans. You can see a lot of them are still green on the vine, but a lot of them are ready to harvest. We let them get totally dry on the plant, and so you can see when we break them open, the beans are nice and dry inside. And so I go through and I take my handy scissors and I clip off the ones that are mature and dry. And I can save them all in my basket here. And I will often let them, harvest them off and let them sit for another week to get completely dried out before we go ahead and take them out of their shells. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to put them all in a big pillowcase and smack the pillowcase on the ground, which will open up the pods and spill the seeds, spill the beans, and I'll show you how to clean them up after that. So here we have our harvested organic cannellini beans, and I'm going to show you how to get the beans out of their shells. And you could choose to go one by one with each pod and break them open and spill out the beans, or you could do an easier method, which is to get yourself a pillowcase and fill the pillowcase with the pods, and get a couple big handfuls into the pillowcase. And you'll seal it up like so and give it a couple good whacks on the ground. So then this will break open all the pods and it spills the beans out. The beans are much heavier than the light little shells, and so they'll all go to the bottom. And you spill it out into a basket or a bucket. You could use something that doesn't have holes in it. I got them all. And then so you can see the beans have separated nicely from their pods. So I'm just going to go through and with my hands brush off the really light empty pods. You can kind of check through and make sure they're all opened. So it just takes a minute to separate all the pods from the beans. Okay, now I've got all the, large chunks of the dry pods separated, and next I'm going to do what's called winnowing, and you can do this with either a fan or a hairdryer. And it's essentially just blowing air across your harvested beans to get the rest of the really light crumbs out. So I have a hairdryer handy, and I'll turn it on, and it just will blow out all the light stuff. So from here I've got my dry cannellini beans separated completely from the shells and all the light crumbs, and so I will take my mason jar and I'll fill the mason jar with the dry beans, and I'll just store them in here in the pantry until I'm ready to use them. We'll seal up the mason jar, and they'll just store in here. They'll keep for a really long time. So once you have your beans stored in the jar, I just wanted to give you a few more tips on how to use your fresh beans. When they're harvested within the first 6 months, they'll cook a lot faster than dry beans that you had bought in the store that have been stored for who knows how long, maybe over a year. So you'll still want to soak them overnight before you use them, and then you can go ahead and use them with any good bean recipe that you want to try out. And also, after you have cleaned your beans and you have them stored in your jar, it's a good idea to put them in the freezer for about 24 hours to kill off any insects that may have taken a ride along with your beans. So if you're interested in growing your own cannellini beans, you can find the seeds available on reneesgarden.com. Mama's Cannellini Beans. Thanks for watching.